Hi everyone, welcome back to ASX Market Watch and charting trend signals around the world. Guys, absolutely fantastic to have you here today, checking out the charts with me. Obviously, if you've watched any of ASX Market Watches before, you know that we look at the entire world from a chartist's point of view, all the world indices, and we just determine which way they're heading, which way the trend is heading, and look at a few other technical analysis tools on these world indices to determine which way they're heading, because we believe that 3 out of 4 stocks might follow the overall market. Guys, as usual, we will look at the entire world. However, we will start down under Australia, where I personally trade, because, well, if you personally trade it, it's the one that interests me the most. So what the heck, hey? Look, this is the one, the All Ordinaries down under Australia. No, it's not the most massive of markets, not the biggest world market, but yeah, it's the closest to home at the moment. Really quickly, this yellow line here is the 200-day moving average, and as you can see, it's respected that 200-day moving average, which is it's a bit of a pain, actually. There are a few individual stocks within the All Ordinaries that are getting entry signals, which is fantastic. Guys, really quickly, actually I probably don't even need to do this. You can see it for yourself. See this little zigzag, bada bim, bada boom here. As you can see, it has not closed above that level being 4,400. Now, what do you notice about this level, 4,400, guys? And I'll just enlarge that a little bit. As you can see, we've got the uptrend line here, so that's providing support as well at the same time. So we've got a little bit of a ricocheting effect in here at the moment on the All Ordinaries. But what do you notice about this 4,400? Well, first of all, it would be a close above this little zigzag pattern here, which is what we want for an entry signal when we're looking at that sort of zigzag pattern. It also is a close above that yellow line, which is the 200-day moving average, exactly. And also, well, look, that's pretty much about it, really. But yeah, apart from that, if you wanted to get even more technical, there's your, and how many lines we have on the chart. Sorry about that, guys. But as you can see, that line that I've just drawn in, that is your triangular pattern, and I'll just get rid of this as well. There we go, that's a bit better. So that's your triangular pattern. Right there, and as you can see, it would be a close above 4,400 on the All Ordinaries, would be a breakout of that triangular pattern, which would be good news for the All Ordinaries as well. So basically, we're waiting for that breakout. In other words, if it breaks down to the downside, well, look, I'm not expecting it to, but if it does, that's bad news. And if it closes above 4,400, that's exceptionally good news from a technical analysis point of view. Guys, really quickly, well, let's look at Europe. And a couple of weeks ago, probably about 3 weeks ago, we called an uptrend line, a new uptrend. As you can see, it's crossed that downtrend line. There's that 200-day moving average again, that yellow line there. But yeah, as you can see, it's made a little zigzag pattern up. So this was about 3-4 weeks ago, probably about a month ago now, actually, or even longer, to be quite frank. So we did get our uptrend signal there, and what has the market done since then? The market has continued upwards, exactly right. Guys, just as an aside, we'd be looking at a breakdown below the previous trough there. If that happens, that would be an exit signal for myself personally, and that's pretty much a break-even stop loss right now at the moment on the FTSE. But yeah, so in the meantime, the uptrend does remain. And yeah, we called it probably a bit over a month ago, and it is what it is. You know, not rocket science in any way, shape, or form. The not the FTSE, the SP 500. Let's check that out, just because it looks at more stocks than the Dow Jones. As you can see, again, probably a little over a month ago, about a month and a half, we got an entry signal on the SP 500 as well, and the market has continued up since then also. Guys, if we were to look at a target on the SP 500, now it depends on the Elliott Wave. Anyone who follows Elliott Wave, there's a course on Elliott Wave at my site, asxmarketwatch.com. It's fantastic. But again, it depends on what wave you believe that we're in. If you believe we're in a current, in a wave 3, which is the longest wave of all of the waves, pretty much, usually, most of the time, that would, the highest probability move would be a target of 1,500 on the S&P 500. So that's pretty much an additional, my maths is terrible, but what is that? An additional 10% move on the S&P 500, which is, and let me tell you this, if you get a move of 10% or more, or even 5% or more on your market index, is there a chance that individual stocks will be moving more than that? Of course there is, guys. Of course. And yes, you already know that. And so, yeah, in other words, you'd be able to make far greater profits than what the individual index is making simply by following trends in individual stocks and avoiding the stocks with downtrends, basically. Not rocket science. So simple. Anyone with a son or daughter in primary school could teach them this stuff. It's so ridiculously simple. Apart from that, really quickly, the Hang Seng Index, again, we called a new uptrend probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And there it is there. As you can see, like all of those things were converging at the same time as well. There's that yellow line again. It's that 200-day moving average. And also, there's that little zigzag, which is what we were looking for. All of these things converging at the same time. When it crossed above it, which it hasn't done on the All Ordinaries yet, but when it did on the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, what did we get? This beautiful up move, and that's exactly what's continuing on right now. Now, I think over the last couple of weeks, we had an initial target of, what was it? Something 700, 21,700 on the Hang Seng. Now, again, it depends on what wave you believe that we're in, but it's almost reached that target, which is great. If you believe we're in a wave 3, again, we'd be looking at 24,300 on the Hang Seng as a target for this particular move, which is, now, if we are in a wave 3, and I'm not saying that we are, but you know, it is a possibility. It's definitely not a possibility to rule it out. If we are in a wave 3, that is very exciting because, as I said, it's the longest wave. It's time to take action, especially on the world markets. Not so much on the All Ordinaries yet, but when that move happens on the All Ordinaries, oh man, it's going to be fantastic. Okay, next up, really quickly, Nikkei. Last week, in fact, we called an uptrend, and that was right back here. And look, we did get an earlier uptrend. For the savvy amongst you, what does this look like to you? Yeah, exactly. That little zigzag pattern up, and that was exactly what we found. Maybe about a month ago on the Nikkei. I didn't want to call it just because there was so much resistance. As you can see, that green line is the 150-day moving average. Found resistance there. Found minor resistance at that yellow line again, which is the 200-day moving average. And then we had this overhanging downtrend line. But yeah, so literally, once we got a more solid signal last week, the market has literally taken off. And again, there are fundamental reasons behind that. I don't know exactly what's... there's something happened in Japan. There was something to do with the money flow or the money supply. Whatever it was, you know, read the news. It'll be in the news somewhere. But anyway, like all of this stuff shows up on the charts before it actually happens. And yeah, so again, not rocket science in any way, shape or form. That is the Nikkei. And look, we might even leave it there, guys. That's pretty much the entire world. Europe, Asia, down under Australia, the Americas. That's the world from a chartist's point of view. Any questions, just smack them in the video below, in the video comments below. Otherwise, have a fantastic week. Oh, P.S. Greece decision this week, hopefully. There's more on that on my site at asxmarketwatch.com about the Greece fiasco and what to expect from a chartist point of view. But yeah, guys, check it out. Have a great week. Happy trending until next week. And bye for now.